What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
You don't know what that order is, Mr. Trash. I'd show you, but I'm too old. I'm too tired. I'm too fucking blind. If I were the man I was 5 years ago, I'd take a flamethrower to this place.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
We've said it once, we've said it twice, we've said it a million times, the truth. Shall I set you free? This is Tim. Fuck your sensitivity, the mad ramblings of a Gen Xer. Need to talk about the ghost lights. 2 sets of lights over 2 sets of nights that are expelling red something over a security site. We also need to talk about Hakeem Jeffries, talking about skyrocketing fuel costs, and let's just say it got a little stupid quick. But first, we need to talk about how the FBI just revealed that they stopped cold a alleged plot to attack the White House UFC fight event, which just happened a few days ago. This was evidently over a signal chat with 23 separate people. And hold on one second, we got a little static coming in over there. Sorry, I hate when that happens, but this was actually over signal chat, allegedly revealed that 23 people discussing operational activity to attack this event with explosive drones and snipers. As of yesterday, 5 people are already in custody. The FBI is investigating or has identified 23 people in total, or a potential network of plotters. You have to love the liberal left. We're all about the love. We're all about making things better, but we need to attack. The plan allegedly involved using explosive drones to hit buildings near the event that would then force a mass evacuation and steer the crowd towards a pre-targeted sniper team. This is fucked up. And this is fucked up on so many levels. The second wave was then allegedly planned to storm the White House gates, according to officials. The FBI first learned of this threat on June 10th, so just 6 days ago, and basically worked with their partners to secure the probable cause warrants needed to arrest those in Cincinnati, the one suspect who was taken and was immediately taken into custody. They're also saying that the Secret Service worked closely with the FBI during the investigation. This is just fucked up. Why? Why do you hate this president so much? Why do you hate more than half the country so much? Why do you hate other people's ideology so much that you feel you need to cause a mass casualty event to get your point across? You're fucking morons. And I'm not painting a broad brush about most liberals, but this was a liberal plan. Because one suspect allegedly told investigators they were targeting the capital elitists, the billionaires, or politicians who received donations from the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. What the fuck is going on with this country? Why all of a sudden are we going back to Nazi Germany? You hear these liberals saying, they're fascists. We're socialists. Yes, you are. Because Hitler was basically a socialist, and what he decided to do, we're going to round up the Jews. Why are we heading down this direction again? Why is there so much hatred? It's because of the rhetoric that the left likes to throw out, then blame the right, then tell them, you need to tone this shit down. Well, fuck you. What is wrong with you? Some of these attackers plan to travel from Fredericksburg, Virginia on June 12th and the 13th to prepare for the attack. I just love it. You villainize a segment of the population You talk about how you are against racism, how you want to end racism, but then you are racist against the Jewish communities. You're racist against Israel. You're racist against anyone who has more than you because they probably fucking worked for it. Director Kash Patel credited the FBI and Department of Justice and law enforcement partners for acting quickly across multiple states. He said, thanks to the rapid action of the FBI, our partners in the Department of Justice and multiple state operations, multiple individuals are now in custody, and the alleged planned attack was stopped cold. This was a historic event. You know what? I laugh. This was an historic event. UFC 250, sorry, I can't even talk today. I'm thinking of the University of Central Florida. But UFC 250 fight, which is historic because it's just commemorating the 250th anniversary or birthday of our own country. Why don't we just have some drag queens and women with their titties out walking around the South Lawn? Oh, that's what we did under Biden. The event drew about 4,300 people. It looked like there was more than that, but there was, which actually what I did enjoy was there was over 1,200 active duty service members, and there was 14 fighters from basically around the world. The majority of the card was had Americans fighting others or other Americans. It's just dumbfounding to me that we are the left is the side of tolerance. We're the side of peace, but they're the ones planning mass fucking attacks. And then I love it because then you have morons on the left in Congress and going, well, we have to turn down the rhetoric, but get in their face, yell at them, show them who you are, do what you need to do. This is what happens when people turn up the rhetoric so loud that disagreeing with someone is a cause for violence, said Vice President J.D. Vance. We got to tell everyone to tone it down. Everyone has a role to cut this stuff off. But I think a lot of my Democratic colleagues in Washington have got to look at themselves in the mirror and say, why is there so much political violence coming from our side of the spectrum? Because they are whiny crybaby bitches who, if you disagree with them, they don't know how to handle it because I need to go pet a puppy in a sensory room. I'm sorry that I'm yelling today. I'm sorry that this is just disgusting. And it's disgusting that we would even have to go through this at this time of year. And it's disgusting again, like I said, all of a sudden we're going back to hate the Jews. Why? Because we need to free Palestine from the river to the sea. Of course, do you know what that means? That means you need to eradicate every Jew from the river to the sea. But we forget about that. Hey, that shit in October didn't really happen. All those videos were faked. They were deep fake videos of women getting raped and attacked and murdered. You're a bunch of fucking morons. So the Pentagon files recently revealed that there are reports of orbs launching orbs near sensitive U.S. security sites. About 40% of the report activity comes from an incident back in October of 2023, which it remains unexplained. They got no fucking clue. But evidently it happened from October 24th to June 25th, including one incident where two witnesses seeing the glowing red sphere appeared to have what the objective was white plasma, son. Shooting out white plasma. Boo, boo. Excuse me. The sightings are among dozens that were reported recently through the Trump administration presidential unsealing of the reporting system for unidentified anomalies, or UAPs. UAPs. Now, according to the release, witnesses on October 24th reported observing a plasma-like sphere hovering over a pond, an estimated difference of roughly 2,700 feet. The luminous object intermittently changed shape and brightness at times to appear smaller than larger. The object remained stationary for approximately 45 minutes. There's video footage captured by an iPhone that was analyzed and authenticated by the U.S. government, and the FBI basically says that witnesses are highly credible. This is one of the latest instances. You know what I keep thinking? I keep saying this over and over again. Something's going on. You are releasing all this information. The government is releasing all this UFO data. The government is releasing all this stuff, and you could think of it as the fact that they're trying to operate a desensitivity campaign, which is going to allow us for something bigger to happen or for something to happen. I know there's a Steven Spielberg movie coming out. I can't think of the fucking name of it, but I know that's coming out recently. It's coming out soon. It's about the aliens and the invasion and the takeover. I don't know what the fuck it's about. I see the previews, but I don't fucking care. But you kind of just reached a point now where it's almost like we need to desensitize the public. We need to figure this shit out, and we need to get this information in front of the public so when something does happen, when something large happens, that you can then have the public not be so much in a tizzy, not be going back to, not be like, you go back to the old TV series V. I'm talking the one from like 1983, the movie and the TV series. The aliens landed, the ships came out, they looked like us, everyone was friendly, they all got desensitized, and it turns out, boom, it's fucking lizards. That's what you got to look at. So that's kind of what I think. That's kind of where I'm thinking this is going. I think this is going to, I'm thinking July 4th, our birthday, Trump has has invited some guests. And I'm going to tell you right now, I have a feeling that those guests may be a little further away than Europe. They may be a little bit further away than the moon. Maybe the sun. Maybe Saturn. I don't know. But I think someone's someone's coming. Hakeem Jeffries the other day had a meeting, was giving a little speech and was talking about the high prices of gas skyrocketing, criticizing Trump for the high prices of gas. Oh, this is going to be more fun from the left. It is a reckless war of choice that obviously cost the American people significantly, particularly as it relates to skyrocketing prices in gas in an environment where the cost of living is already too high. Well, where did that fucking come from? Not looking at you, American Rescue Act, that you passed when you didn't need to, which stimulated the economy because you had too many dollars chasing too few goods. But that's okay, Hakeem, because you're a wannabe Obama. Jeffries basically then went on to say, we need to solve our own problems in America, which I find is interesting as fuck, considering they cause most of these problems. And then, this was actually on a podcast. And then the podcast host came out and says, gas prices were up under Obama too, and Biden, right? While Jeffries attempted to answer, the host pressed, didn't we have prices over $5? And Jeffries' remarks was, well, those were gas prices in the immediate aftermath of a pandemic situation. Okay. Who caused the situation? Who caused the lockdown? Who caused passing these bills that made no fucking sense, that people just ripped off and stole billions of dollars from the U.S. government and taxpayers? The podcast host went on to say, I remember eggs were like $12. Didn't really go the way it was planned. The national high for gas average was $5.22 under Biden in June of 2022. And at the time, the Democrat Party basically blamed the price surge on the aftermath of the COVID pandemic and the beginning of the Russian-Ukraine war, calling it the Putin price hike. I'm sorry. Who was the motherfucker that allowed Putin to go into Ukraine? Oh, I know. It was Wimpy Joe. Gas prices peaked last month at $4, the national average of $4.50, which is still 72 cents under the high under Biden, and have steadily declined over the last few weeks. And now with this peace deal, it's just getting better. It's going back down. And I love it because oil was about $80-something a barrel. And of course, instead of celebrating this, the left is like, well, it's still higher than it was before the war started. Well, no shit, Shirley. Really? I wouldn't have figured that one out. It's going to take time to go down. It's just going to take time. And that's all we can do. I love the fact that Elliot Page, the transgender actor, who used to be an actress, talks about healthy masculinity in contrast to toxic masculinity. Can I just say something to Elliot Page? You're not a man. I'm sorry. You're not a man. I mean, you if you have any testosterone, it's not real. And you want to talk about masculinity and toxic masculinity when you don't have a working dick and you don't produce your own testosterone. So shut the fuck up. Oh, we're going to keep doing these shows, at least on a bi-weekly basis. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. This is Tim. Like, subscribe. Go on YouTube, not YouTube. Yeah, we're on YouTube. We're on Rumble. We're on every place you can find podcasts. If you would like, just leave a 5-star review on the podcast because that helps us out and gets us bigger and stronger and better. This is Tim. This is Fuck Your Sensitivity, the Mad Ramblings of a Gen Xer. And I'm out of here.